Hey guys, Stealth here, and welcome back to Surviving Mars. We're just on the, the outer end of a dust storm here. There's no way to launch rockets, there's no way to bring in new rockets, and that means that currently I cannot do any of the special projects, which is kind of what I was hoping to do. So, this episode I'm going to be spending on doing some of these special planetary projects, all these Project Castile, Project Demeter, Limegrass, etc. All of these things are going to help me with more resources. They're going to make sure that I get a bunch more research done. And potentially get me all sorts of weird technological breakthroughs that I haven't discovered yet. Now, at the moment I have a bit of a problem with power and water. Water is coming back up, because at some point during the dust storm, of course, you cannot generate water, because these moisture evaporators do not work in the dust storm. I'm getting another trade offer for a whole bunch of food. Yeah, actually, why not? They're offering 105 food for 50 metal. Let's do it. Alright, so now I can send my rockets on operations. The Stealth 1 is reloaded. Let's see, we need 10 colonists to go for a resource mission. Yeah, let's go. The other one is also reloaded, so it has been refueled. Project Demeter needs 6 medics. I don't even think I have 1 medic. Project Element. 5 drones for research progress. Yes. Now that means that I will need to have more research projects stocked, because at the moment I don't have much, and sometimes these things gives you bonuses of about 2,000 to 4,000 research points. So after the terraforming subsidies of 1 billion, I'm going to be going for superior cables, make sure that power cables never break. What's next? Yeah, I'm kind of interested in this, the cipher. But that's... I don't think currently is a priority. That's the shuttle hub. Water consumption of domes reduced by 50%. That could be handy. That's just 1,000 though. We got the fungal farm. We got gene adaptation to unlock new crops. Biorobotics workshop. No, this thing is going to drain a whole bunch of mechanical parts, which I don't really generate that much of anyway. Farms increase the comfort. Holy shit, I can get the Megadome. The Megadome is an endgame structure. It is the biggest dome that you can build, and also by far the most expensive one. Interesting thing to build, but currently way outside of the scope. My main objective right now should be to up the research output. So get more colonists, make sure that they get more research done, and that I can unlock the buildings faster. Don't take sanity damage when working in outdome buildings. No. Here, scientists and botanists have plus 10 performance when working in their specialty. That should keep the operation going for a while. Now, I'm also building up this additional dome. Over here we have the archaeology spire, so I can house another 32 colonists. And I only have 2 rockets, so after one has come back from the special project, I'll send it back to Earth to make sure that I can start to pick up additional colonists, because right now I have 54 vacant residential slots. So there is a lot of potential for additional colonists, and with that I can get that research lab operational. Now there are also quite a few kids at this point. We got 3 children and 1 youth. So for them I'm building a school. I am, however, running into a problem with the drones. I don't have anywhere near enough drones at this point. And that means that everything is just slowing down.
Complete.
There you go.
Sector scanned.
We got 1 shipment of, I think, 33 polymers. So that's coming back, and we got 4,000 points of research done, which immediately gave me terraforming research or terraforming subsidies. So now I can get a bit more from Earth. And we're actually a very, very good bit into superior cables already. So now it's just waiting for these rockets to come back. One's going to go back to Earth. The second one is going to make its way onto a next special project. I only have fuel to provide fuel to 1 rocket though. Let's see, do I have... Oh right, I turned these off during nighttime. Let's get 2 of these operational during nighttime, although I am losing out on power. I have a decent supply of machine parts at this point. I'm producing just about enough to keep up with the maintenance. That's courtesy of this building over here. Let's land the rockets. There There are additional shifts available, however. But I don't really have the personnel to do that. Ah, the school's operational. Let's turn the dome on. And now I guess the one kid... Sorry, two kids. The two youths should now be joining into the school. They can get there through this conveyor belt system. This is a passage. So people can now get from one dome to the next. And here we are. We got the first couple of guys over here. We also had the nursery, we had the playground, and let's see, did I have... that was the infirmary. I sort of want to make this a kids' dome, to make sure I can educate the kids, I can have them in the nurseries over here. So let's filter them. Age group. Preferably child and youth. And they should be able to just use the passageway to get to this dome, to get educated, and to actually be useful for the colony. Let's see, what else could I need over there? They don't need living space because they got the ecology spire. So that's enough. I could just use a whole bunch more adults. Let's see, how are we doing on refueling? 31 out of 50, 0 out of 50. This one's going home. This one's going back to Earth. Right. At some point I hope to be constructing the Wonder, the Mohole mine. Because it's going to be automatically producing metals and rare minerals, rare metals as they're called, which really do help with the amount of money that you're making. The thing is that it's going to be very expensive to build. It's going to cost me 300 machine parts, and I currently only have 13. So while I would love to build it, it is, well, currently it's way off. I will not be able to do that anytime soon. Alright, this one's refueled. You can go home, you can go back to Earth. And we'll get the Stealth 1 to come on another special operation. Let's see what we have. Demeter was the one with the medics. Limegrass. Requires a couple of engineers and gives me new technology, so opens up more of the tech tree. We got research progress, and I only need an RC commander. RC commander's in position, I just need to make sure that this thing gets fueled up. And the drones are already hard at work at making sure that exactly that happens. Now, I know the whole operation, or the whole playthrough, is supposed to be based on terraforming. But that's going to take a bit of time. Because terraforming is expensive. In the sense that, sure enough, I can set up the... actually, I can do this. The GHG factories. They burn a mixture of fuel and locally extracted carbon to release greenhouse gases, effectively improving the global temperature. So let's set up these things. And they will require a bit of power. How much was it? 10? Something like that. So currently my power grid is sufficient during the daytime, but during the nighttime, not so much. Alright, Stealth 1's reloaded. Let's get that research progress in. If that's another boost of 4,000, I will need more. Let's see. Home Collective increases the service comfort of the building by 10. Yes. The more comfort they have, the more likely they are to produce new colonists. And Martian-born colonists actually have a bit of a bonus. Because they don't suffer when working in out-dome buildings. Now, currently I don't have any out-dome buildings, but at some point I probably will. Alright, here are the GHG factories. And with this, we are very slowly upping the temperature on Mars. It's going to go with 0.5% per day. So it's going to take me a lot of time to actually get this thing to a decent temperature. But we have started. We have started. Okay, Russia is offering 50 metals in return for 50 polymers. No. I don't want to do that. We have 5 guys living here.
Research complete.
A couple in the school. I suppose that these are the parents. Or rather, I hope so.
Anomaly analyzed.
There's the playground. Yep, okay. There we go. 2000. Water conservation system researched. Water consumption of domes reduced by 50%. Okay, now I'm going to have some serious power issues. Because I have a demand of 77. And these batteries are draining fast. I need to set up additional power generation. Because as it is, this is not going to be sustainable. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to go with large wind turbines because the other ones are just not really as interesting. Set another one up over there. Build another power line over here, which are now free. And unbreakable,
Resources
which is
are
also
low.
nice. And a couple more wind turbines over there. I do have a positive energy generation with all the solar panels. Stealth 1's ready to come back. And actually the Stealth 2, I think, made it back to Earth. So I can now import a whole bunch more people. Let's do that. Passenger rocket, 12. Scientists are going to be important. So I will take as many scientists as I can. Because then I can start to unlock more research buildings. Or more of the tech tree. Let's see. Hold on. Kick everybody out. Filter. Specialization. Scientist. There, I can import 20 scientists. Now we're getting somewhere. I just need to make sure that they have enough workspace. So I'll set up another lab over here. And then I should actually be getting a fairly decent research output. There. Now this will cost me a few electronics. Yeah, 5 electronics and 1 per rotation. So they're not exactly cheap, but they are just required. Here we go. Now I'm getting 400 research per day. That's better. And that's with just the one research lab. So I should be getting about 800, maybe a low 1,000 if I'm getting that second ship with the additional colonists in. The Stealth 1's already being refueled. Unfortunately, at this point, I don't really have enough fuel lying around. So I'm going to have to be a little bit more patient with getting the fuel into the ship. And then doing more of the special operations. Oh, power surge. Oh, are we the subject of sabotage again? Stress on one of our power networks is causing a massive power surge. There's a serious threat of overloading the entire network if we don't do something quickly. I can shut down 10 power producers for 3 souls. I can reroute power to the batteries. Or I can just panic and several buildings will break down. I'll shut down 10 power producers. Now I'm losing out on power. Well, I guess it's more batteries and more solar panels then. Because the solar panels are fairly easy to build. And they don't cost me much. And I do have enough polymers to actually produce a whole bunch of batteries. So let's set up one large solar farm over here. These things only cost me metals, so they're not that difficult to build. I guess I'll just have to make sure that during the daytime I generate a whole bunch of power, and during the nighttime all that power is going to be coming out of the batteries. Battery here, battery there. Go. Alright, now the Stealth 1 is ready for another project soon, but I might actually send it back to Earth. Reason being, I need it to make sure that I get more and more and more colonists. Because right now I still have 45 open residential slots, and that means that there is a lot of potential for further growth of the colony. And this dome is not exactly being used. Sure enough, we got some people going to school over here. We got a couple of guys in the nursery. And they have a fairly high level of comfort. The thing is, I need more for these people to do. Not so much for the kids, because the kids don't really require that much. They just require a bit of playing and a bit of educating. The next tier of the school will be the Martian University. But that's not something that I'm going to be able to get anytime soon. Now there is something else that I need to fix. Aha. The whole power generation over here is offline. I think it's not, yeah, it's not getting any power. During the daytime it should be, but only if there are solar panels nearby, and there aren't. Where's my RC commander? I need to assign a couple of drones to the RC commander, or at least one. You're part of this one now, and so are you. I need the RC commander over here because I'm losing out on a lot of water. I do have some stored, But that's only going to last me so long. So let's make sure that I don't lose out on too much more. I'll set up a couple of solar panels here. Making sure that these things always stay operational. Or at least most of the time. Hold on. Ah, systemic training. Scientists and botanists have +10 performance when working in their specialty. 459 in research. And the other stealth site is now back. Or sorry, the stealth rocket. So let's throw that thing down on the landing pad. Why are you not getting enough power? There are machine parts here. Oh, right. This one was being... yeah. The problem is, we're still under the spell of that effect that says, hey, your batteries are about to explode. Or your power network's about to go down. So, I'm gonna have to make sure that I power this particular area with solar panels as well. Although over here it's a little harder to do because there's not a whole lot of flat area for me to use. Give me some more power cables here, circling around like that. And then just put up some more solar panels here if I can. Because there is a lot of metal over here just sitting there. I just need to make sure that it's being used. Then this drone producer is going to go active. And with this drone producer, or the drone hub active, I'll be able to get the drones which are actually commanded by this drone hub to also assist. And right now it seems like the other drones hub is trying to do as much support as it can. There we go, we have power again. I can delete these. We got 0% of research going on. How's that happening? Inactive work shift. Oh, the building has stopped performing. There we go. 588. Now I'm getting some decent research. Right, these things do need to be spun up. But there's no concrete being delivered here. That's a problem. I do need concrete here, guys. Make sure you bring some. And I also will need more machine parts. Right, the Stealth 1 is ready for another project. Let's see, what do we have? Project Limegrass? No, that requires engineers. Officers? No. Swan Lake. An RC Dozer. Spectrographic analysis revealed a ground cavity which seems to contain a huge deposit of precious metals. We can send an RC commander to enter it and gather the treasure. So why are we asking for an RC Dozer? Mission Control insisted that we name the rover Siegfried. It's probably a reference, but I gotta say I don't exactly get it. So let's send that thing over and see exactly what we can get from that particular research project, or that planetary project. It says resources, but I think it might be precious metals, or rare metals. Can we set up a battery here as well? Maybe 2? Actually not there. The terrain here is a nightmare. There. Do we have polymer here? No, not yet. Alright, we're currently researching the Home Collective, which is going to allow me to upgrade residential buildings to have a bit more comfort. Next up, there it is, the Martian Education, the Martian University. This trains scientists, geologists, botanists, medics, engineers, and security officers on an as-needed basis. So this means that if I have, for example, over here, I need a lot of engineers, ideally, then the Martian University is going to train more and more engineers out of the unspec'd workforce that I normally have. Which is very handy to have. Very, very handy to have.
Anomaly analyzed.
Ah, there you go. 25 rare metals. I might actually just export those to get a bit more cash, because for every rare metal, so let's say every unit, I'm gonna get paid 24 million, which could be interesting to get. Also, I'm getting tourists? Really? I had no idea. Anyway, let's see if I can do some more terraforming. I do have the forestation plants. They plant wild vegetation, increasing local soil quality. Plants will wither or grow according to the local soil quality and global temperature and water. I can build these things right now, but there is a bit of a problem because they require a bit of items called seed. These can be either locally produced in farms or they can be picked up on Earth and shipped back. So I could build these, but with no water on Mars currently, I don't really see any further use of them.
Resources are low.
What I'm currently going to be doing is just maintaining that temperature increase on Mars. And once that has an actual decent rate, or a decent temperature level, I'm going to go and build a lake. This will require lake crafting, but I thought that that's something that is... There it is. It is inside my reach. I am capable of researching it. So that should allow me to then get water vaporated or evaporated from the lakes. Alright, we got the other stealth rocket coming back. This one's almost ready. There we go. Waiting for resources to unload. There's still a bit of food on there. And this depot is full. So I guess we're going to have to set up another food depot. Food. I usually place these things right next to domes because that's where they're eventually going to be needed. Alright, the dozer is back. Let's see, what else can I flatten over here? We're still scanning some areas. I could build a ramp up here, come to think of it. It's going to be a long time project. Building a ramp takes a hell of a lot of time, but it is free to do. So long as you have a dozer or a drone commander which is actually able to assist. Alright, you can go home. And I'll make sure that I can get some more colonists in here. This one is still unloading more food, which it couldn't do because there was no room for the food, and now there is. I got a good amount of food, I got a decent amount of metal, concrete's looking good. Now the rare metals are still on board the Stealth 1, they're awaiting export. And I will export those to Earth, I just need to make sure that I have more fuel on this rocket and then I can send it home. And in the meanwhile... Oh shit, one of the research labs has malfunctioned. That's not good. There we go, fix that. Thank you. And now I have 1036 research output per day. I'd say for Sol 42 that's not too bad. It could be better, could definitely be better, but for now it's alright. Now what I am a little concerned with is that I'm not actually getting any more metal. For the moment I can survive because I have 142, but eventually this could become a very serious problem. Now I can get to here. I can use a metal exploiter or metal extractor, but it has to be staffed by colonists. That's the problem. What I do have a lot of is concrete. If the other colonies are interested in my concrete, I might be able to get metal from them. See, these guys don't have a whole lot of concrete, but they do have a whole lot of metal. So I could try and interact with the colony of Japan, and I can say I'm offering concrete and I want metal. And maybe Japan's going to take that. Home Collective is now done. Perfect. Which means that I can now use the Home Collective upgrade over here and provide an additional 10 service comfort. It is going to cost me 10 polymer, but I think it is an interesting upgrade just to make sure that their average comfort is going to be at a base 78 instead of 68. So let's do that. And over here it's 65. Well, I do have enough polymers, why not? Oh, all the scientists are living here now. All the guys in white, all the scientists. Right. Holy shit, I'm losing out on a lot of power. Look at that, during daytime, all these solar panels are generating power. I can store a total of 1600. And that is actually decent. It should get me through the night. So, for now, it seems like the battery approach is more or less working. Alright, Japan is offering 25 metals for 50 concrete. I'll take that. Because I can always get more concrete. But what I cannot do is get more metals currently. See, there's another 700 concrete over here. There's another 1400 over there. That should be pretty easy to mine as well. Now, one of the stealth rockets is back on Earth. I now have
Resources are
32
low.
vacant residential slots and a couple of vacant work slots. I'm going to open up the small machine parts factory, which also devours metals like there's no tomorrow. What else do I need? Production. I can get an electronics factory built, provided that I have the prefab. A small electronics factory might actually be interesting in building. And unfortunately that metal deposit is too far away over here. There. I could at some point build a dome over here. Actually, this one would be more interesting. There's a collection of metals, rare metals and concrete. So if I build a dome closer to here, I could be mining metals. The thing is, you need to be able to transport those between one point and another. And at this point, I don't exactly have access to the shuttle hub just yet. So that means that I'd have to drive all of those metals, all of those resources from one point to the next. Which I really don't want to do. I really don't want to do that. Anyway, let's just ship in a bunch of, well, not so much scientists today. Actually, yeah, let's do scientists. More scientists. I'll build another research lab. And make sure that these guys have some place to work. Because at some point you can also have more scientists generate money by doing repeatable research projects. Currently I don't have access to it yet, I think. In one of these trees, either physics or social, I think it's social, you have a bit of tech, and that allows you to research something, and then it generates cash from that research. So that's actually very handy to have. The Stealth 1 has exports on board, so I'm going to send this back to Earth. That should get me another 600-700 million. In the meanwhile, we're still pumping out carbon dioxide. And with that, getting currently a 2.5% temperature. Well, it's not a temperature increase. It is more of a percent, let's say a progress bar of sorts. Let's say it's a progress bar of sorts. So what I'm doing right now is making sure that if I can get it to 100%, it will be livable. At least it'll be warm enough for people. Over here we're loading up the concrete, and then the metals should already be offloaded. Now with the Stealth 1 going back to Earth, I'll bring in a whole bunch more drones. And probably bring in a small factory for electronics. To make sure that I can also produce those. But the thing is, they require rare metals. They require rare metals as a resource, which I currently don't have. Could you actually get to work? Waiting for resources. Oh. Right, okay. I need you to load these resources. And then I need you to offload them there. Great, I'd say things kind of coming in along nicely, especially the research is something I'm happy about. Sure enough, you could have had this a whole lot earlier, but I picked my research or my colony site a bit poorly, with a little bit of a problem as far as metals are concerned.
Sector
So
scan.
right now I'm actually
found.
pretty well on track, I'd say. Could be better, could be worse. But so far we have a total of 49 colonists with another 12 coming in very soon. So that should put me at 61 colonists. There are children being born. We have a decent level of comfort. We have probably a decent level of comfort here as well. Yeah, they just need gaming. Who doesn't need gaming? Alright, there's the Stealth 2. That's the additional colonists. Sorry, not colonists, researchers. Oh crap, I'm losing out on electronics. Right, so this research lab is not going to get finished until I ship in a whole bunch more electronics.
Have arrived.
So these scientists, at this point, are, well, they're going to have to be working over here and produce machine parts. Which is not ideal. It's not exactly what you want a scientist to do. But at the moment, I don't really have anything other for them to do. There you go, 600 million received. So let's immediately call that cargo rocket back in. That's the stealth one. Bring in a whole bunch of drones. Because I'm running very low on those. Make sure there is electronics on board. A couple of these things. And what else do I need? I don't really need an electronics factory. I don't need seeds yet. That's too early. I don't need concrete. I don't need metal. I don't really need a drone hub. I don't need a moisture evaporator. I don't need a refinery because I still have one. I don't need a Stirling generator. Just get some more resources. Watch. Now that makes my budget back at 79 million. Which means that I cannot call in an additional drop. So if this money is done, or if this drop is done, I'm going to have to figure out something else. Because it's going to be very hard to get additional electronics. Unless some of the other colonies are offering it, but they very rarely do. They do not have a lot of the advanced resources. They have some polymers, they have some electronics, some machine parts, and a whole bunch of fuel. Russia, same deal, although they have, for some reason, a ton of polymers. And China also has a ton of polymers, but not so much any of the others in excessive amounts. Anyway, their colonies are 50 people. Japan has 48, and Russia has 48 as well. So my colony with 61 is currently the biggest one. It's just not entirely operational. So what are you doing now? Oh, he's delivering waste rock. Right. Okay. With this, I'm going to end the episode. Lots of stuff has been built, mostly in the power department. We're generating a decent amount of research. There is a whole bunch of scientists which are currently doing engineers' jobs. But at least it means that I will not be starving out on machine parts anytime soon.
Breakthrough discovered.
The budget could be a bit of a problem at some point. But for the moment, I think I can live with it. It's not going to be too easy, but we'll just see how it goes. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I shall catch you next week for the next episode.